Hey guys, it's Tarot and Beyond. In today's Pick a Card reading, we are looking at the theme of the mystic. And this is an archetype that I personally associate with Pisces. And since we are moving into Pisces season in the month of March, or we're in it currently actually, I wanted to look at this archetype, how it's expressing in your life or how it can be expressed more effectively. So we have the three cards you see here. Group number 1 is the peacock with pregnancy and wealth. Group number 2 is the envelope with unfolding surprise. And group number 3 is the wisdom keeper with the whale. So if you feel drawn to more than one card or maybe even all of them, just take the messages from within the readings that feel like they are for you. These are general readings, but the intention behind them is to provide confirmation, synchronicities, and even guidance directly from spirit for your greatest and highest good. So make your selection, use the timestamps below in the description box or the chapters, and jump ahead to your reading. We'll see you there. All right, hi group 1, you chose the peacock card and it says pregnancy and wealth. To me, the peacock personally, it always kind of represents confidence and being authentic and self-expressed and not being ashamed of yourself, really, like any aspect of yourself. It doesn't have to be to do with physical appearance. It can be to do with something that you're good at, a talent or skill, or just something very natural to you that other people don't necessarily have, or that makes you special in some way. And we all have that. We all have something that makes us special and unique. So I'm seeing that your mystical quality through Pisces season is going to be best expressed through your authenticity and showing up as you actually are. I'm seeing you being able to express yourself in a way that feels more fluid, I want to say. Like you're not holding anything back. You're not stoppering yourself up. What they're actually showing me is a bottle with a cork jammed into it and then the pressure building. So it's like you're able to remove that cork and just let yourself flow, let yourself be, let yourself express. What's inside comes out in a very healthy way. And that is what creates this wealth. That is what creates this prosperity. That is what allows this thing to be born out of you. So it could be to do with creativity as well. Your mystical expression, group number 1, may manifest very well through creativity. And that is very Piscean. Pisces in general is like super creative. I'm a Pisces sun myself. So it can express a lot through poetry, imagination, dreaming, creative pursuits like art, painting, drawing, singing, dancing, writing, literally anything creative. Pisces usually has a hand in it. So I can see, how that's being expressed or needs to be expressed through the energy of peacock. Now you also have nothing will come of this situation with the void, of course, moon. What I'm actually getting right away is that it's not that nothing will come of this situation. It's that you don't want to be necessarily manifesting around the void, of course, moon. So because when the moon goes void, basically any seeds that are planted, it's like they're planted in infertile soil, and so they won't grow. You just won't see anything from it. It's not that they're gonna turn bad or whatever. It's just nothing comes of that. So I'm seeing that if you're trying to manifest something in the month of March, or this is technically a timeless reading, but we're looking at Pisces season. If you're trying to manifest something in Pisces season, do it at the right time. First of all, we'll look more into what the right time is, but I'm feeling it's going to be very intuitive for you. But the second thing that I'm getting here is that with nothing will come of this situation, I feel like if you hold back, if you repress your natural state of being, your gifts, your talents, your creativity, your expression in any form that it takes, nothing's going to come of that situation, right? Because if you hold back and you repress, you will never know what could have been. You will never know what you could have been capable of, or you could have created, or you could have seen manifest or come into your reality. So this is really a good time during Pisces season to really focus on what it is that you value. That's another thing that I see with wealth, what it is that you value and how you can open up to that or express that or plant seeds of that, because that will show in what will manifest going forward. Yeah, I do feel this card. Look at the bigger picture, full moon in Sagittarius. I feel like your mystical expression group number 1 would do best when directed in a focused way. I see a lot here to do with expression. They just keep giving me this energy, and I'm seeing it in the cards as well. It's so important for your mystical self and that archetype that lives within you to be expressed, especially during Pisces season. It is really crucial for you, group number 1, to look at the bigger picture of something. And in this case, I feel that the bigger picture is not about something personal to you. It's like a bigger goal, a bigger purpose, a greater sense of spiritual sovereignty, or a greater sense of spiritual expression. And that is what helps you to become the peacock, because you don't feel like you need to limit yourself based on what other people are going to think, or comparisons of yourself with other people, or vice versa. It's just freedom to express, because it's not about you. Even if it's you who's doing the art or creative expression or something, it's not actually about you, because there's a bigger meaning to it. There's a bigger purpose to it. I'm also getting from the Void of Course Moon card actually just the word void. And the void is the 0 point where everything is born from. So I think that's another thing connected to pregnancy here in Pisces season for you, group 1. It's like, what are you birthing? You're creating something from practically nothing. It's coming out of like the non-space, the immaterial, and becoming material. So this is a very big thing. And this is this mystical gift that you have. And it's wanting to be birthed or utilized through the process of the sun being in Pisces. The sun is the self and how we express in our consciousness. And it can be to do with creativity as well. And I see this really wanting to come out of you. Could even be to do with your physical appearance, even though it's like not about you and your physical appearance. It's more it's more of like a symbolic expression of yourself. You know, it's like, I'm not going to dress this way or appear this way because I want people to look at me a certain way or think that I'm a certain thing or person. I'm going to dress this way, or I'm going to style myself this way because it just feels good for me. I enjoy it. It brings me joy, brings me happiness, and that is the larger service to the collective. Like, that's the bigger picture, because when you are enjoying your life, you have a positive ripple effect on everyone who touches it, on everyone you come across, and even the entire collective, because Pisces has no boundaries and no borders. And in the positive sense, that really shows up as like collectivism and the merging of that collective consciousness through unity. That's why Pisces is the most flowing, watery. It's like water. We're just all one drop in that ocean. And we can't really be separated from it. And yet we are. So seeing the bigger picture here is really understanding that you are the void. You are the ocean. You are not the manifest thing. You are not the drop of water. You are everything. And when you see that, you can take your ego out of it a little bit. You can take your personality out of it. It's still involved in the process, but it's not quite so heavily invested in what's being expressed or how it's being received. Wow, you have Sagittarius again. So you have full moon in Sagittarius and the new moon in Sagittarius. Luck is on your side. And these arrows keep really standing out to me, the bow and arrow. So the bow and arrows symbolically can represent directing your will, focusing, balancing, using all of your force together towards a goal. So it's like being able to have balance in your legs so that they create the stability for your arms to be able to pull back, create that tension, focus, aim. It's like an entire body effect. And that's what Pisces does too. It takes everything into account. and connects everything because everything is connected and it knows that. So being able to do that and then to release, especially on something philosophical or something that will have a wider effect on the world, a belief that you want to embody or share or express within yourself, something that feels right for you. That's what I'm seeing. Creating momentum is actually the word that I'm getting. Momentum in your life, like the arrow shooting out from the bow. You're creating some kind of momentum. Look at that. On the bottom of the deck, we have new moon in Pisces, meditate and contemplate. See, Pisces is such a mystical energy that it does best when it's connected to that non-tangible, non-physical reality. It's highly spiritual. So I would recommend through Pisces season, really going into that void space, clearing your mind, getting connected, because that is going to help you to focus on some kind of the bigger picture, give you a different frame of reference, and allow you to embody in this way where you're kind of taking your ego out of it and allowing your spirit or your soul to express through you as a vessel or a conduit. You also have prosperity lies ahead with the new moon in Taurus. So with wealth and then prosperity, I think this is going to lead to some kind of, I just heard the word career. I was going to say lead to some kind of positive outcome in terms of your finances. And like they just gave us the word career, it could be connected directly to that, especially if you're doing something creative or something connected to your beliefs or your philosophy. That is what's going to create some kind of wealth for you in the month of March or during Pisces season. Okay, let's get some tarot cards for you, Pisces, for you group number 1. The 3 of materials. So a lot to do with wealth. Your mystical expression needs to be manifested is kind of what they're telling me here. Even though it comes from this no place, void space, it does need to be made manifest. It needs to be made physical. And, it's interesting because the example that they're showing me in my mind is actually the fact that we had that prosperity lies ahead with the Taurus energy. And Pisces in astrology rules the 12th house. And the 12th house is like this hidden realm of the mystic where it's kind of these things that happen in intangible ways. It's the mind and the intangible aspects of the mind, like the subconscious, the dream realm, the astral realm, spirituality, deep beliefs, past lives, healing, spiritual, psychological, or even physical healing, but kind of done in isolation. And my personal 12th house is in the sign of Taurus. And Taurus is very practical, very physical, and it likes to create at a physical level. And recently, Spirit has been guiding me to create spiritual tools at a physical level. And I won't reveal specifically what that is because I'm going to reveal it publicly on the channel fairly soon, so stay tuned for that. But there's something that they're wanting me to mention here for you, group number 1, about that type of theme. So it's like taking the immaterial and making it material, or taking the intangible or the spiritual or the mystical and bringing it into something that can actually exist on the 3-dimensional plane, but still contain that essence of that purity through the spirit, through the soul, through the magic, because that's what Pisces is, very magical. So this 3 of materials is like, what are you going to make with this? What are you going to do with it? How are you going to focus that energy? Putting that intangible intention into actual directed will and action. Because whatever you do here in the month of Pisces, it's going to manifest into something, and you will see something come from it. Even if you're doing productivity on the spiritual level. Sometimes this is part of the process, right? Sometimes it's not the time to take action because it's just not spiritually aligned. And as humans, if we're fully in the mental space, we can easily overlook that more intuitive timing, and then nothing comes from it. So I'm seeing that during Pisces season, group 1, you're being highly encouraged by Spirit to tune in and feel. Because the more you do that, the clearer it will be, first of all, what you're needing to do or what you might want to do. You'll get clarity on that. And then second of all, you'll feel into when that's going to be important to do and when it's time to not do that. Sometimes it's time, especially during Pisces season, to just kind of pull back and rest, contemplate, think about things, go into that mental space, the intangible Pisces realms, the dream state, daydreaming, night dreaming, really looking at those things and embracing those spaces or spheres of the self. And then from that, being able to extrapolate meaning or to create a conduit through which that intangible realm can be bridged into the tangible realm that we live in here. And then directing that action as it feels aligned. The Magician, manifestation. This is exactly what I'm getting. So you are manifesting, you are creating a conduit, and you are that conduit. See how the Magician takes something from the non-physical up above, brings it down into the physical and anchors it in the third dimension. And I'm seeing something to do with the moons here. So the lunar cycles are going to be especially important because Pisces is also connected very deeply to the moon energy, lunar energy, water, flow, cycles. So paying attention to the lunar cycles, new moons are great times to plant seeds, to sow intentions, to set things into motion. The void of course moon is the time where you pull back and you just sit and you just be. There's also waning and waxing phases, gibbous phases. Then there's like the full moon. There's eclipses involved. And I know that during this particular Pisces season, we have an eclipse happening in Libra on the 25th of March, I believe. So paying attention to those lunar cycles is also going to help you to manifest wealth. Either money directly, literally money, and or wealth in whatever area that you're looking to create some kind of a physical result. Something you can actually touch and feel and interact with and see in your reality. I'm trying to figure out if I want to push these up and clear space down here. Yeah, I think I will leave this space open for more. So again, it's also like creating space. Everything that happens or that I do in readings is relevant to the message. So there's something about creating space or leaving space so that something can come in and fill that void. That's another thing about the void, right? Is that sometimes when you create space, it has like this sort of negative charge to it in a good way where it becomes magnetic and then it pulls in what is meant to fill that space or fill that void. So I think that's why it is going to be important this month or this season energetically to focus on alternating currents between do and be. And that's very Piscean as well. You see the two fish swimming in opposite directions. It's masculine and feminine polarity, do and be. So it's a balance between those two that's really going to help you to manifest and see things unfold very physically. Okay. Get all of those cards here. The Muse of Materials, like so much to do with money and finance. I just heard the word riches. Okay. But sometimes when Spirit talks about riches, they will talk about very intangible riches, especially when we're talking about Pisces and the archetype of the mystic. These are like riches of the soul. Riches of the spirit realm, which is not about money, it's energy. And that's really what money represents here in the physical reality anyway. It's energy. It's a form of energy exchange. And so I'm seeing that you exchanging your energy this month or this season, you're going to get a return on it of equal or greater value. That's what I just heard. Equal or greater value. And it's going to create some kind of balance in your life is what I'm seeing, group number 1. So if you have felt ungrounded, this is another message that's coming through. Being ungrounded can wreak havoc, is the phrase I just heard in my head. It can wreak havoc on your spiritual connection, on your ability to authentically express yourself, and on your physical and material stability as well, because it's very physical grounding, right? So this is going to be another thing that's going to help this season to facilitate massive growth, is what they're telling me. Massive growth, group number 1. Ground yourself. Because this is going to help you balance something out, and it's going to help you build on top of that. If you don't have a stable foundation, how can you build on top of it? So this is creating that stable foundation for you to find the stability. I did mention the legs, right? It's like your legs creating the stable base for you to be able to pull back that arrow and launch that intention or that idea or that creative project and have it actually gain momentum enough to hit the target, to see your goal manifested into physical reality. And the legs are connected to the root chakra. So this is representative of you anchoring that mystical self into the physical reality to see that come through. Oh, interesting. You have another muse of voices. I'm actually getting energy from dance from this one. So if you are into dancing, that could be a great way to ground your body through Pisces season, again, because it's creative, but it's also physical. So it's this nice balance between the third dimensional reality and the upper dimensions, where you can just kind of intuitively allow your body to move, to express itself, is what they just said. And they were telling me, okay, I forgot to mention this. Now they're bringing me back around to it. They're reminding me that hey, we told you with the peacock card, shake your tail feather, and you didn't say it. Sorry. Sometimes Spirit gives me so much so quickly that I sometimes sidestep certain messages just because I try to remain as cohesive and fluid with what's coming through, and it would be super disjointed if I said everything that they gave me. But anyways, dancing is going to help you manifest during Pisces season, group number 1. So shake your tail feather, get that energy moving through your body, because quite literally dancing, they said ecstatic dance acts as a conduit for that vital force energy to move through you. And it can actually help you channel ideas, is what they're telling me, because the muse of voices is swords energy. Swords are to do with the mind. So something about dancing is going to give you some kind of inspiration, or it's going to connect you to a different state of consciousness, an altered state of consciousness that provides some kind of a download or an idea that you will be able to utilize, again, anchoring into the physical reality, manifesting and seeing that come to a very satisfying fulfillment. Wow, talk about satisfying fulfillment. Holy crap, you got the 10 of emotions. That's a 10 of cups. This is like happily ever after, your deepest and most content state of being. There's no comparison to this feeling. It's everything being in complete harmony. And you can see these characters here in sort of like an ecstatic dance celebration. So I feel like this is directly confirming what we were just getting and really emphasizing how satisfying this is going to be for you, group number 1. Very satisfying and lucky. Now, luck, if you guys have heard me talk about this before, is not random. It's not about chance. Luck is alignment. When you are in spiritual alignment, luck becomes something that you can actually control, or not even control, but that you can express. Let me just put it that way. Because it's not about control, it's about surrender. But that surrender and that alignment actually does give you more of a physical control over what shows up for you. And you will start to see luck manifest through serendipity and synchronicity and positive manifestations showing up for you. And that's what I'm seeing here. And it's very satisfying. They keep giving me that energy of very satisfying. The Hierophant. And I heard learning. This is also Taurus energy again. So Taurus energy is going to be important for you during Pisces season, interestingly enough, group number 1. And the Hierophant has to do with learning. And I'm seeing, because she's naked here, sitting up on a rock, it's like you're learning to be fully exposed in your natural state of being, which is what that peacock is as well. The peacock doesn't hide its feathers. This individual doesn't hide their flesh. It's like being able to fully show who you are. And that doesn't mean physically showing up naked, right? Obviously, it's like you being able to bare your soul is what Spirit, just that's the phrase they use. I love when Spirit channels such poetic and eloquent things, not just in these readings, but they do this with me too behind the scenes. Like when I'm taking notes or I'm journaling, I'll channel through my writing as well, auto writing. And it's very eloquent the way Spirit speaks. I just love it. So they said, wait, what did they say? I went off on that tangent and I forgot. Something about exposing your spirit or having that be what is seen. You also have the Chariot. I see a lot of directed will, group 1. I see a lot of directed will. So you are going to create some kind of momentum. I just keep getting this feeling of momentum by really learning to allow your soul to express through you as a conduit. To allow the universe and the non-tangible and the mystical express through you as a conduit. And then braiding that together with the physical aspects of life and how that expresses and creates these intangible states of bliss. Okay, let's get some flower messages. I feel these cards right now for you. Iris, spread your creative wings and take flight. So I did have a feeling this was a lot to do with creativity. So you're being encouraged to really embrace maybe even different forms of creative expression than you're used to. But I think it's not like forcing yourself outside of your creative comfort zone in that kind of a way where you're doing something completely brand new. I feel like this is more so a time for you to explore just your natural gravitation towards certain creative expressions, things that tend to just flow from you. You don't really have to try hard. It's like you're a natural, Those types of creative expressions are what is going to help you to manifest what you desire, really. But it's not just a human desire. It's like what your soul desires to experience at the physical level. That's why grounding is so important, because Pisces is such a head in the clouds kind of energy. And I know this personally as a Pisces sun. It's sometimes very hard for me to ground. And I have learned as, working with this Pisces energy through my personality, that to be able to anchor that into the physical reality is actually really important for me to experience my spirituality tangibly. Because as a soul, if I wanted that purely spiritual experience, I would not have incarnated. That wasn't the point, right? I am that. I am that I am, Literally, though, I am that spirit. So if I wanted to stay that, I would have stayed there. But I came here, and so did you, group number 1. You wouldn't be watching this reading if you weren't physically incarnated as a human on earth, right? So there's a reason your soul chose to come and incarnate. And part of that is to experience all of the things that the physical reality has to offer. So spirituality is not purely spiritual in some of those more sort of stereotypical or quintessential ways. Spirituality is literally anything and everything, because we are spirit, and anything we create or do or experience is spiritual. It's a spiritual experience, whether you're eating a pack of cookies, watching TV, or you're out meditating in a temple. There is no difference. The only thing that matters is it aligned with your soul in that moment? And is it expressing something to you or teaching you something or allowing you to experience that? And is that valuable at soul level? That's going to vary from person to person and moment to moment. So this is where intuition comes in. But I'm seeing you spreading your creative wings and anchoring that into the physical reality at the same time. The sun shines brighter when you are here. Talk about being incarnated. The sun shines brighter when you are here, group number 1. And you are here for a reason. To give and to receive, to create and to experience your creation. I'm seeing you are here being also about grounding and understanding your location, why you are where you are, what that's teaching you, how that's serving you, and how you can use that to your advantage when it comes to what your soul is longing to express. Gerbera? Gerbera, is that how you say that? Show appreciation and joy will follow, or shall follow. Joy shall follow. I do get the sense you're going to feel really gracious, grateful, thankful, appreciative in Pisces season group number 1 because, and I keep almost calling you group 3, so I do have to mention that because when I'm channeling like this, things that come out of my mouth that I don't think about, there's a reason for it, and everything is significant in readings. There may be messages for you in group 3. I haven't even done that reading yet, so I have no idea what's going to come out, but we do have that card for group 3 here, and they're showing me, talk about it. It's a wisdom keeper, the whale. So there's some kind of wisdom or learning or teaching that you're doing around or in the energy of gratitude and appreciation, and how that influences manifestation. They just gave me the word law, or the phrase law of attraction as well. Yeah, so you're using law of attraction to your advantage, making the non-physical physical. They just keep saying that. And appreciation and joy and acts that come from a state of abundance and alignment are going to create wealth for you. That's so clear here. So clear here, group number 1. Violet. The answers and truths are always within. Well, that tracks really nicely with the wisdom keeper card that they just prompted me to say, so, or to talk about. So yes, meditate and contemplate, because if you are feeling unclear about anything, then this is going to be the season for you to gain clarity through connection to your soul. You have the answers within. So tuning into that, you're going to teach yourself by bearing your soul to you. And then you're going to somehow direct that and create something out of that. You're going to bridge the gap, because Pisces is the medium. Pisces is the mystic, which is that bridge between the non-physical and the physical, the spirit realm and the earth. So I'm seeing you really being able to channel that wisdom from the soul through your creativity and manifest wealth. That is really what I'm seeing for you, group number 1. So I'm wishing you all the best for Pisces season. Many blessings as you anchor this divine spiritual essence of you into the physical reality. And if you're interested in learning more about what March has to offer, I did create a March 2024 month ahead reading on the members side of the channel. And memberships are great because they give you access to weekly pick a card readings ad-free. We go really in depth into spiritual topics, and it's a lot more detailed because there's a smaller group of souls that I'm connecting to there, so the messages can be even more personal, and I get to know the members on a one-on-one basis because we do monthly readings as well, where I'm providing guidance and connecting and providing healing and all that. So if you're interested, I highly recommend that. It's a great deal for, I think, $10.99 or $34.99 depending on the tier. And that's in Canadian dollars as well. So check that out. Hit the join button down below the video if you see it there. Or I think there's a link in the description as well to become a member. And if not, then we will see you here in the next reading, I hope, on the channel as a subscriber. Stick around for more. I love and appreciate you guys. Lots of blessings, and we'll see you in the next reading. Bye. All right, hi group 2. Welcome to your reading. You chose Unfolding Surprise with the envelope card. So we're exploring the theme of the mystic here through Pisces season energy. And technically it's a timeless reading, but this will apply to the March energy of 2024 at the time I'm creating the video. I feel like there's something coming in. The reason I'm being called to mention the dates, I think, is because there's something that is addressed to you to arrive on a particular date, group number 2. So there's some kind of surprise. I'm getting Uranian energy from this. So Uranus is like the planet of unexpected things and surprises. It can be about upheavals as well, but I'm feeling it more like just something you weren't expecting coming in. Maybe a delivery comes to you, or some kind of an unexpected thing is delivered in some way. So it feels magical. It feels like something that you want. It's a happy surprise. That's the energy I'm getting from it psychically. It's a happy surprise. It's something you weren't expecting, but you greatly enjoy it, or you're happy to receive it. Okay, a time to give rather than take. New moon in Virgo. Maybe you're even giving something. Maybe you're sending something out to someone who doesn't expect it from you, or that kind of thing. But I'm seeing it like Pisces season is going to be a balance of give and take, is actually what they're telling me. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, right. Because you're receiving something unexpected. And I think because of that, you're able to give. Yeah, it's this nice balance between give and receive, give and receive. And Pisces energy, it is very receptive. That's what makes it so mystical, is because it can connect spiritually, psychically, emotionally to everything, and it can receive all of that input, all of that information. So this may be a physical, tangible thing that's coming in, because we do have new moon in Virgo here, or it could be something that you're receiving a message from the divine, let's say, spirit talking to you, or your higher self channeling something through you, or somebody saying something, and it really lines up synchronistically with a message that is being delivered to you from spirit. I always recommend writing down the synchronicities. Like I've shared with you guys here on the channel before that I keep a synchronicities journal every month. Spirit actually guided me to do that, because I used to just kind of keep it all up in my head, and they said, no, write it down, because then you can reference things back and you'll start to be able to put the clues together a little bit better. So tracking it literally by writing it down and seeing the dates, the times, the patterns, it does help to decode and defrag as well. Decode and defrag these forms of communication or symbols, which is how spirit tries to get through to us. All right. Okay, you have luck is on your side, new moon in Sagittarius. I feel like you're going to be getting because you're lucky. And the more you give, the more your luck increases as well. So long as you're giving from a state of abundance, right? Not from obligation or responsibility or anything like, or guilt. It's like giving from joy, giving from the experience or wanting to do good, or because it makes you feel good. That's what's going to enhance your luck as well. Okay, we have adjustments are required. Third quarter moon. Let me move these over a little. I do feel this other one on top here as well. Adjustments are required, and nothing will come of this situation. Void of course moon. Well, I think that's why the adjustments are required, is because if you were not to adjust this, then nothing would have come of this. But they're giving you this information for a reason, group number 2. So during Pisces season, you're going to have some kind of a realization, is what they're showing me, that you're going to have, they actually just give me the word awakening. So you're going to have some kind of an awakening. And you probably already had many, especially if you're drawn to my channel in particular and my personal energy. It's like different tiers of awakening, though, that they're showing me. And this season, through Pisces energy, there's going to be some adjustments being made at the consciousness level, so that luck will work out for you where in the past you didn't see things flowing smoothly. Maybe like you kept hitting up against roadblocks, or you kept not getting what you were investing in or what you desired, or something like that. I'm getting this energy of like frustration from the Void of Course Moon card. It's like you kept trying at something and then not seeing it happen. And it's like by making these adjustments during Pisces season, you're going to see this unfolding surprise come in. Possibly because you manifested it. No, definitely because you manifested it. Let me correct myself. Definitely because you manifested it. Oh, 4 of materials. Okay, all right. I'm getting a message here. The 4 of materials, the 4 of Pentacles, is or can be about holding on to physical resources, money, things we value, things like that. Even just like things that give us a sense of security. And when we hold on so tightly to something, ultimately what we're doing is pushing things away from us. And we get into that take energy where we're trying to protect what we have, which is not always a bad thing, but in this case, it could be, because it's kind of like dampens the energy signature, or it blocks the flow. And I think that may have been something that was going on in the past, or that you may be contending with here through Pisces season group 2. So they want you to really kind of let go, surrender. It's not a time to take. It's not a time to hold on. It's a time to let go, to give, to share, to be generous. It's a time to open up. It's a time to let things bloom and blossom and trust that your needs will be met. Even if in the past, because look at this little camel in the background there. It's like in the back of your mind, you're like, but what if I have to go without? What if I don't have enough? What if I'm left out in the desert again and I don't have my needs met? They're saying don't worry, because there's going to be some kind of surprises that come in to help to feed you, is what they just said, feed you. So it even could be food, but it's like some kind of nourishment at soul level that they're bringing in. And when you receive that, you can actually give more back, which then just keeps that momentum going. It keeps that cycle flowing. You have the 10 of inspiration, 10 of wands. I think this is one of the areas where adjustments are required, group number 2. It feels like there's been a heavy burden you've been carrying. And I'm getting the word sacrifice. Sacrifices you've made, or sacrifices you're being called to make. Which is it? Sacrifices you've made, they clarified for me. Thank you, Spirit. So something about sacrifices that you have made in the past to pursue some kind of spiritual development is specifically what they're telling me. So maybe you forego money, or you have foregone money, or some kind of like physical security, like giving that up or surrendering that to be able to pursue some kind of a spiritual pursuit or spiritual truth. Because they're showing me her carrying the vase of water, it's like some Pisces is water. So this is like some kind of a spiritual truth that you were laboriously carrying up the mountain with you. And perhaps the lesson has been, or is right now, how to forego certain physical things, comforts, while at the same time trusting that your needs will always be met, sometimes in unexpected or surprising ways, and learning to receive rather than take. There's a difference, right? So I see a lot of alignment for you here, group number 2, to get out of the woods here, in a sense, but even more accurately, to get out of the desert, getting out of the desert of this sort of pilgrimage that you've been on, and the sacrifices you've made through that pilgrimage, which were significant. They were important. They were part of your development, is what Spirit is telling me. But it's not like that forever. That was just a phase of the journey, right? You don't go and live in the middle of nowhere in the desert. You walk through it to gain this awareness, and then you move to more fertile land. That's what they're showing me. The Emperor. This was a really powerful spiritual development for you, or if this is all happening during Pisces season, this is a very powerful spiritual development for you, group number 2. It's helping you to connect things that I think you didn't consciously have awareness were connected. But you gain awareness through this process, or you have gained awareness through this process. And then you start to see that showing up physically through improved luck. And I was talking about this in group 1, and I've talked about this in other readings. Luck is not random or chance. It is alignment. Luck manifests as a result of spiritual alignment. And that's going to vary from person to person, what that means and how to achieve it. But when we get into personal soul alignment, we manifest more quickly. We see things align. Synchronicities and serendipities lead us exactly where we need to go for the right reasons at the right times. And that's what we would call, quote unquote, luck, right? So Something about that is important here to learn too. So 4 of inspiration, 4 of wands. 2 4s, 3 4s, 4, 4, 4. So 4s could be significant number sequences or synchronicities. Codes unlocking stability is what they just said. Yes, numbers are coding. This reality that we live in is kind of like, there's the simulation theory, it's a matrix, yes, but it's an organic system. That's the best word I could use to describe. It's an organic system that does operate on principles of encoded energy. When we take an action with a certain intention or emotion behind it, that is encoding that into the result we're going to get back. Numbers have coding and imprint onto the soul and unlock certain things within the soul, or even at the DNA level. There's coding in literally anything and everything. Symbols are coding, the cards are coding, your own subconscious mind has coding in it. Everything is coded. But I'm seeing here, the 4 code is talking about stability, finding and creating your stability. And it's like a higher point of stability, because what they're actually showing me in my mind clairvoyantly right now is somebody climbing a mountain, and they're going up like this very sheer rock face, like a cliff. And when they have those, what are those called, like grappling hooks? They're showing me a grappling hook, and you throwing or like projecting that grappling hook up above to some kind of a platform. There's like a shelf in the cliff, and it latches onto that, and you tug on it a few times to see if it's stable, and it will hold your weight, and then you can start moving more fluidly up rather than having to find footholds and move really slowly. It's like when you have that higher anchor point, you can actually move more quickly and feel safer because you have something that is holding you up while you are moving up. Does that make sense? So there's something about stability here that's really important for your growth in this particular season of life and in this month. And I think the adjustment is going to be switching from feeling dependent on that energy of security from the physical realm, and instead relying on the non-physical, which is the mystical, the hidden mystic within you, your soul, your higher self, God, source, the creator. That is your anchor point. That is your plateau. That is actually the top of the mountain. And if you can anchor your point of your grappling hook to that top of the mountain, you can go all the way up. And all you need to do is make sure that your grip is strong and that you're resting when you need to, and then keep pushing forward. You will get there faster and more efficiently. Oh, I love it. You got the Sun card too? Wow. Elevated consciousness is what I heard looking at the card. Elevated consciousness. So this Pisces season, group 2, is going to seriously elevate your consciousness. And they showed me somebody clairvoyantly getting to the top of the mountain in my mind. So yes, this is going to be a big month for you to make these adjustments to your physical sense of security and even your internal sense of security. And as a result, you will see your consciousness greatly expand around this subject. And there will be some kind of reception of energy or of resources or of, they keep giving me the energy of security being significant for you. Oh my God. Talk about security, the 10 of materials. That's like the top of the mountain when it comes to security. The 10 of materials, the 10 of pentacles is like, not only do you have enough to feel secure, but you also are able to give rather than take, because you have, it's like infinite wealth, right? This is like the legacy card of having the security you need through friends and family, having a community or network that you feel will catch you if you stumble, right? They're showing me the cord that you're holding climbing up that cliff face, right? It's like that's the cord, right? The connections between all the people here. This is also the legacy that you leave behind. Having more than enough to be able to pass on to other people. So much wealth is available here, group number 2. So if you feared that nothing would come of this situation, you've made all these sacrifices and you've been tested, is what they just told me. Spirit confirming, if you are resonating with this, you were tested, group 2. And there was reason for that. It was not malicious, Spirit said. It was not malicious. These tests were not meant to harm you. They were meant to challenge you so that you could learn these lessons about security and how to gain divine supreme sovereignty over your own sense of security, and what the most stable source of that security really actually is. Knight of Materials, this was a quest about security, a quest about it. Money could be part of this too. Money, food, community, our faith, connection to spirit and the divine. These are all sources of security. And I see you achieving some kind of real sense of freedom here through the security that you have or will be acquiring. It's not even acquiring. They corrected me, and I said connected instead of corrected. So this is about connection, achieving this level of freedom and security. But they corrected me. They said it's not that you're acquiring this security. You are developing this security, and there is a difference. It's developing from within you. And you are and you will see that show up tangibly around you. They said one more off the top. Okay. Ooh, 5 of Emotions. The phrase that came to mind was talk about a cliffhanger. You guys were like left on a cliffhanger, and there's no coincidence that they had me use that metaphor of climbing the cliff to achieve this kind of security. And guess what being on a cliffhanger kind of is? Like when you're watching a show or a movie and they leave you on a cliffhanger, they leave you without that sense of security. You don't get that sense of a finality or a conclusion or something satisfying. At the end, it's like, wait, what? You're kind of left on the edge of your seat. And I think this was part of your test. Yeah, it was. Yeah, they're telling me it was. It was part of your test, group number 2. And on the bottom of the deck, we have the 2 of Emotions, which is giving me very strong Pisces energy, especially with the fish here, the 2 fish, and also these people kind of being in opposite directions, which is usually what the Pisces symbol is. 1 fish swimming down, 1 fish swimming up. So I'm seeing this may have to do with relationships, like security within relationships. Perhaps learning to create inner security through self-love or connection to the divine, or both, really ideally both, right? But there was something here that you needed to learn to release so that you could receive. 5 of Emotions, 5 of Cups. There were some deep emotional wounds that they're showing me around security, possibly connected to a father. Yeah, the Emperor, the Sun can be very masculine energy as well, so it could have been like the father or some kind of father figure, or lack thereof. This can even go all the way up to the top of that mountain again, and we're talking about father as like the God principle. I mean, God is mother and father and the child, but even just like in the patriarchy, God is considered that masculine energy. So there's something to do with creating security through healing, really. I'm seeing like healing this masculine principle within the self. And that really resulting in a lot of physical security. They said progeny as I flipped over this card. Let's see, what is Orchid? Your uniqueness is always perfectly lovely. They want me to talk about progeny. The 10 of Materials is the legacy card, especially when it comes to your progeny. Like it can literally be about having kids, and then your kids having kids, and then their kids having kids. It's the legacy going down the bloodline. There's something about maybe not being accepted by the father that damaged the security early on. Needs went unmet, they said. Possibly emotional needs because the desert lacks water, and water is emotion. Connection, lacking connection. Okay. Just take it if it resonates, right? These are general readings, but I'm getting this message for somebody in this group or for all of you if it resonates. But anyway, your uniqueness is always perfectly lovely. So really being able to embrace your unique path, I'm seeing is something really important through Pisces season, group number 2, because your path, it does look a lot different than other people's. That may have been one of the sacrifices that you had to make, was doing things differently than everyone else. Maybe having an unconventional job or leaving something that seemed secure, but your soul was calling you in a different direction. Or, I just got a message about breaking up with someone. And it's like breaking up with someone even though it didn't make sense security-wise or financially, but then doing that because you needed to kind of make that spiritual sacrifice to find your true security. Something about connections, relationships being important here. And you're going to get some kind of information or a surprise or something that comes through in a very unique way to you, and it's going to be very significant for you and you alone. Like that message wouldn't make sense to anyone else, or it's addressed to you. They keep showing me an envelope with an address on it, and it's like very specific to you. Almost like when Dumbledore sends the letters to Harry, and it's like, Harry Potter, something whinging place, cupboard under the stairs, or like shack in the middle of the ocean. It's like very specific to exactly where you are right now. And there's something about that is also creating a sense of security or helping you to develop that security within the self, because you're like, oh, this is very tangible. Even though it's mystical, even though it's divine, it's very tangible and very unique and specific. And therefore, I feel like any kind of doubt or insecurity that was there before starts to fade away, or wash away is actually the word that they gave me. Wash away. Washing away the doubt, washing away the fear, washing away that inner insecurity, because doubt creates insecurity. Doubting yourself, doubting the divine, doubting your capacity to have a good life or to create what you want, something like that, doubting other people, whatever it is. But I'm seeing this very unique thing coming to you in an unexpected way in Pisces season. And it just kind of restores your faith and gives you that propellant to kind of get you up to that next spiritual plateau. Baby's breath, everlasting success is assured if you remain honest and true. This is what I mean. Alignment brings success. Alignment creates luck. There is no other way about it. There's other stuff involved too. Destiny, fate, karma, all of those things need to be weighed in. So if you're asking, why do certain people get lucky when they're bad people or they're out of alignment? Well, there's some kind of karmic or fated thing that's to do with that. And something lucky happening is not always lucky, right? Like some people win the lottery and it ruins their life because they have all these people coming after them, or they gamble it away, or they roll too hard with that and then it destroys them from the inside out. So it's not about these sort of tangible aspects of security. It's the inner security that creates the outer security. But if you want to control luck, it's definitely about alignment, being honest and true to yourself, your path, your uniqueness, your spirit. The answers and truths are always within. They always are, but especially during Pisces season, these can benefit you. So commune with your soul, group number 2. Some of these adjustments are going to be in the emotional realm. So make adjustments as needed to your emotional state. Feel it to heal it. I know it's stereotyped, it's cliche, but it's true. You do sometimes have to feel it to heal it. Doesn't mean that you need to suffer through or endure the feeling or bear that burden for forever. It's just accepting it, acknowledging it, observing it, and then letting it move through you, because water's meant to move. It's not meant to stay stuck, trapped or stagnant. So allowing that water to move through you will also help this conduit to open up through you to create luck. Oh, spread your creative wings and take flight. You are getting a lot of cards that came up in group 1, several of the cards here. So I won't go into that, but you are meant to be celebrated for something you've created, and I'm not sure what that is, and maybe that's connected to the surprise that you're receiving. I feel like you're getting celebrated for something you've created. On the bottom, we have blushing bride. Your intentions and heart deserve to be known. This could be something that it's like you're getting recognized in your relationships of all kinds, or you're becoming or witnessing some kind of success financially or in your career. But since this is talking about the archetype of the mystic, group number 2, I feel like this is really recognition that you're seeing for your spiritual efforts. And I feel like your spirit team is clapping for you. They've been cheering you on this whole time, but it's like you're getting to that plateau point, and it's kind of like a checkpoint at soul level. And they said rewarding you for that because it was a test of faith. It was a hard go. But they're commending you for that, and they're bringing you some kind of an unexpected surprise through something that you're going to get lucky with, or something that you're being celebrated for. I am also noticing that you had blushing bride and baby's breath, and the 10 of materials can talk about, a legacy, like a family. So there may be marriage involved here, or a spouse could be involved in this because you have the 2 of cups as well, or a child. Interesting. Okay. This could also be like you've developed inner security by healing your inner child. That could be part of it too. And then entering into or being in healthier relationships and really seeing that work out well for you. So group number 2, Pisces season, powerful, powerful spiritual development phase for you. Everything that you've been working on leading up to this point is coming to a sort of mid-level point of completion. I mean, I wouldn't say that you're all the way at the top of the mountain, but you are on track for sure. And Pisces season, this particular month, is really going to help to affirm that, I want to say. Affirm and confirm that to you, and that's also going to help to build up your sense of security. So don't worry, Spirit's not going to let you slip or fall, because that would be counterintuitive or counterproductive to this goal of building and healing your inner security, your sense of security within yourself. All right, so that is what I have for you during Pisces season, group number 2. I hope this reading was helpful. I'm sending you lots of love and blessings. If you guys are interested in some additional messages on what's coming through in March 2024 specifically, I do have that reading available on the members side of the channel. And you can sign up by hitting the join button down below and receiving access to the member side of the channel, where you get weekly pick a card readings ad-free, as well as the monthly live streams with me. And the messages in the member side of the channel are much more detailed because it's a smaller group of souls, and I get to know members really more directly through comment interaction and also through the live streams. So if you're interested, sign up. If not, just stick around and we'll see you in the next readings. I love you guys and appreciate every single one of you. We'll see you next time. Bye. All right, hi group number 3. Welcome to your Pisces season reading, exploring the archetype of the mystic. You chose the whale. And it says wisdom keeper. So, I mean, how perfect is that for the archetype of the mystic? Because this is the wisdom keeper energy. And it's this access to the subconscious realms, which Pisces really does rule. So I love that you have the whale here being a very accurate representation of this energy. So let's find out what's coming up for you in Pisces season, how to unlock this wisdom that you are clearly keeping at soul level, and what you need to know about that. So we're going to start the Moonology deck. The answers you need are coming, full moon in Gemini. Wisdom and answers. I feel like there's going to be something unlocked for you during Pisces season, group number 3, and it's something's going to make sense. Ooh, emotions are running high. You got supermoon energy. So, and this is a full moon in Gemini and supermoon. So there's something about, I'm getting like emotional sensitivity actually, especially from the whale. Being sensitive to your environment, sensitive to the waters rising is what they're showing me. water levels rising, which can represent your emotions running high. Oh, okay, yeah, right. Okay. So, you're just going to be extra sensitive during Pisces season, which makes sense. Pisces is a very emotional, sensitive. It's actually the most sensitive of the water signs because there's no shell, right? Cancer has the hard shell of the crab to protect the soft inner self. The scorpion or the Scorpio has the exoskeleton as well. And Pisces is just a fish. Like, it just has scales. It's completely exposed, vulnerable in that sense, but also that gives it an advantage because it is more highly connected to the environment, to the energy, to the water, right? So I'm really seeing these emotions running high being a good thing for you in Pisces season, group number 3, because it's going to give you access through that sensitivity to the answers you seek. And you're going to be achieving some new level of claircognizance is actually what they're showing me. Clairsentience, all the clairs actually now, but mostly I'm getting claircognizance and clairsentience. There's some kind of like sensitivity or your emotions running high that unlocks this or gives you access to it. Because there's that increased sensitivity, you're feeling more, you're knowing more, you're getting more, receiving all of these intuitive downloads or insights, and you're able to put something together that you maybe didn't before. Ooh, something about your destiny. Step out of your comfort zone. North Node. I've noticed that theme of stepping out of the comfort zone coming up in a couple of different readings recently. So this feels like a collective energy. And it's showing up here in relation to Pisces season. So you can kind of see how that tracks. So you might be kind of psychically stepping out of your comfort zone. Oh, I love this. On the bottom, you have a win-win outcome as forecast. Full moon in Libra could be significant. What? Look at the bigger picture. Full moon in Sagittarius. Every single group has had Sagittarius energy come up. One of the cards, either the full moon or the new moon. Okay. The bigger picture here is that everything is connected. And that's exactly what Pisces rules, right? It's like connection to everything. That's why there's sensitivity there. And even between the groups. And I remember I had a comment recently, somebody saying, I hate it when readers talk about other groups in the one group. Just talk about the group you're reading for. And I initially kind of, like, that triggered me. I didn't respond. I noticed that brought up something within me. I was like, oh, they hate something I'm doing. That hurts. That hurts me because I'm sensitive. I'm a Pisces sun, so very, very sensitive. And I never want anyone to feel uncomfortable. But then Spirit had me kind of sit with that for the last, I don't know, like 2 weeks or so, and just be like, why? First of all, why did that trigger me? And also, why did that trigger them? What about that triggered them? Was it because it caused them to doubt their own intuition? Like that niggling little doubt of, did I choose the wrong group because the reader's talking about someone else? The reader knows more than me? We have to explore our emotions because the triggers, the emotions running high in that way, give us information. I learned through that interaction, and I hope that other person does too, when it's right for them. But it's in stepping out of our comfort zone in this way, by analyzing our triggers, by feeling the feelings and allowing them to deliver that message, because that's where the wisdom is kept. A lot of the time, it's in those very sensitive moments where we are feeling so deeply. And it can come up sort of unbeknownst to us, very unconscious, right? That's Pisces. It's the 12th house. It's so unconscious. It's underneath the surface. But by analyzing it, by understanding it, the answers we need are there. Because I know when I watch a reading, I don't just create readings, I love them so much. That's why I got into this, Spirit called me to it, but also because I love watching them. And when a reader mentions a different reading, I get curious about that. I'm like, oh, I like seeing those connections. Or if I'm not at all called to that other reading, I just completely disregard it, and my response to it is neutral. It's not triggering. I don't hate it. It's nothing to me. It's just, okay, fine. So there's something about being able to see the connections between things that is going to help you to really see this bigger picture, see the overarching lessons here or the wisdom in those things, in those answers that you're getting through your emotions. Let's get tarot. And I'm seeing like the whole kind of reason why I was called to bring that up is also because it's about trusting your intuition. No matter what someone else says, you are the wisdom keeper. Not a reader, not an authority figure, not some guru. You. Every single person. And we're all at different stages of development. We have different levels of access to that wisdom. But ultimately, we are all the wisdom keeper in our own lives. We have the answers within. And again, I'm making connections here. We saw that card come up in every single reading as well. Well, that theme come up in every single reading. We haven't gotten that card in this reading as of yet. Don't know if we will, but the answers are within, or the answers you seek are within, came up in group 1 and 2, literally. So you see the connections there. We have the 2 of Cups, 2 of Emotions. This is interpersonal. That's again related to the example I was giving. So I feel like in Pisces season, group number 3, your emotions are going to be running high interpersonally. But again, don't fear this. Embrace it. Step out of your comfort zone. See the bigger picture as to why this is happening. What is this teaching you? What are you learning through these triggers? Don't push them away or push them down. They hold information. Emotion is energy in motion. It's delivering a message to you. It's trying to help you to understand yourself, your psyche, your subconscious better, because a lot of the emotions we experience as humans come from that intangible realm, and we kind of have to consciously and intentionally unpack them through observation and objectivity. Temperance. Oh, I love this. 2 of Cups and Temperance. They're both talking about harmony, creating harmony between yourself and others, finding the middle ground, being a mediator or a moderator of yourself, regulating your emotions, choosing to see that bigger picture rather than getting sucked into the experience of the trigger or of the other person's trigger, and being able to find balance. Rather like create and maintain or sustain balance. 9 of Inspiration, 9 of Wands. This is, okay. These are wounds from the past. I'm hearing worthiness wounds, and even in the image here, she's walking through these like 2, the gates, and this always reminds me of the part in the Neverending Story when Atreyu has to walk through that valley where the sphinxes will laser you if you feel unworthy or if you doubt your worth. Again, we're having themes of doubt coming up here. So walking this path this season is going to be about you trusting yourself to handle yourself and to feel worthy enough to continue and to protect yourself as well. The 9 of Wands is kind of like the Wounded Warrior card. It's giving me like Chiron vibes, and I'm seeing self-protection being important here. Not letting people push you past your limits or completely outside of your comfort zone in an inappropriate way, but also knowing that no matter what happens, if you stay within your boundaries, then you will maintain that harmony or balance within, or you'll be able to re-regulate to it. But I'm seeing like looking at themes from the past and integrating past experiences with new understanding and seeing this bigger picture is going to be really helpful during Pisces season. Another 9 of Materials, 9 of Pentacles. So this is an opportunity to close some old cycles. 9s are about endings, closure. And I'm seeing it also about understanding, like understanding why you responded this way based on things that have happened in the past. And how to create security for yourself now. The 9 of Pentacles can also be about independence. So we have themes of independence, and we also have themes of connection. And I think the wisdom during Pisces season is really the wisdom to know the difference between the two, or how they interact together. Independence versus codependence, independence or sovereignty, autonomy versus enmeshment, Pisces has a hard time with boundaries. The energy, the archetype of Pisces, not necessarily the person. Although, speaking as a Pisces sun, I've definitely had a hard time with boundaries in life. And I had to learn that the hard way. Spirit taught me a lot about energetic boundaries, spiritual boundaries, psychic boundaries, interpersonal boundaries, all of it. So I think this is going to be something that's emphasized or highlighted through this Pisces season as well for you, Group 3, is like your own personal boundaries and whether those are appropriate for you at this stage of the game or not, and why, and how that creates safety for you, safety for the other person, how those two things connect, correlate, intermingle. It's going to be an emotional month, okay? Pisces season, it's an emotional sign. It's an emotional transit. Especially if you have water in your chart already to begin with, you're going to be extra impacted by this. I'm being called to mention that. So if you have like Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio in your top 3, you will be feeling this extra heavy. I'm also feeling earth signs being especially affected by this as well. So Capricorn, Virgo, and Taurus, because sometimes there can be a disconnection between the physical and the emotional. So I'm seeing these emotions offering things up to you. So again, pay attention. But I think you're going to be kind of breaking the surface here on something. Like a breakthrough. I'm getting breakthrough energy, breakthrough in your state of consciousness. I also just heard and I saw a flash of somebody sitting in what looked like a therapy office or something. So if you're going to therapy or you're called to go to therapy or talk to a counselor or something like that, there could be something that you're learning through that or that you are breaking through in terms of your emotional understanding or sense of self-awareness when it comes to these types of emotions and triggers and things. And it's very destined for you to learn these things or to apply these things. Again, trusting your own intuition over what anyone else says always, but also incorporating support as needed. The world, this is definitely a closing of a cycle, group number 3. And you're the last group in the reading as well. So you've got the world, which is the last card of the major arcana. You've got 2 9s and an ace. So I do feel as though you are seeing the bigger picture of something. It's coming full circle. And then you're able to kind of move to the next level of emotional development. You have the Lover's card and the 2 of Cups. So I think this is very heavily focused on relationships. It doesn't have to be sexual or romantic relationships. It's like your connection to other people and how you relate to them based on how you relate to yourself. Do you project onto other people unconscious things that you have not addressed or brought to consciousness within yourself? Or do you take ownership? Do you take ownership and responsibility for how you feel, why you feel that way? And do you hold yourself accountable to what you can do to change that, and at the same time, communicate effectively, clearly, and compassionately how other people may also be influencing or creating an effect in what you're experiencing, but without blame or projection. It's a very fine balance, but that's why temperance is here, because temperance helps you to harmonize. Temperance helps you to merge these opposites. It helps you to mix these 2 solutions together to get a third product or outcome. It's like a chemical reaction. I always see temperance in my mind as like a scientist in the lab with their beakers, combining different substances and getting these very interesting reactions out of them. It's like if you combine vinegar with baking soda, it creates this big reaction, intense, emotional reaction, if we're relating it to the emotions. It's like one thing and one thing making something completely different and unexpected. But at the same time, there's wisdom in that. If you know the combinations of those things, then you can either remove the substance or the interpersonal connection or the thing that is creating that overwhelming thing, or you can understand it and then use it wisely, because that's what wisdom is about. It's like, what's that quote? Knowing that tomatoes are a fruit is intelligence. Not putting them in a fruit salad is wisdom. It's literally the wisdom to know the difference. This is really about discernment, I'm seeing for you, group number 3. And this is you. This is the hidden mystic within you, is being able to discern and to learn through these emotional triggers and not leap to conclusions or reactions. It's really like self-control, but not repression. It's self-regulation. Okay, you have, oh, yes, I knew it. You see, I talked about it and now here it is. The answers and truths are always within. This card has come up in every reading. I mentioned it. I was asking, I don't know if it's going to come up in my head. I saw that it would, and here it is. Confirmation, direct, instant confirmation for you, group number 3. The answers and truths are always within. So if you get triggered by someone saying something that doesn't align with your truth, that is a truth in and of itself that is bringing you wisdom about some kind of an unconscious self-doubt that needs to be addressed. Because if there was no attachment to that external truth being mirrored back to you, you would have no reaction. It would be a neutral reaction. There would be the vinegar and the baking soda would be mixed together and there would be no reaction. No bubbles, no frothing. It would just sit there. So use those reactions as indicators, as symptoms to help you identify the root. Oh, blushing bride, your intentions and heart deserve to be known. I think it's really important that you know how you feel and that you communicate that in an open and honest way. First with yourself and then secondly with others, because that's going to help to heal your relationship within and without, right? Because the relationships we have outside of ourselves are direct reflections of the relationship we have with the inner self. The healthier we bring this relationship inside into balance, the more we are able to interact with the outside world in that way and retain or maintain that balance. Baronia, do not fear or doubt the new paths ahead. So I love that, again, they're bringing up doubt. So do not doubt. And the new paths, and I was seeing that here with the Nine of Inspiration. It's like she's on this path. Can you see the path in the background there? She's on this path, and doubt is the test. It's like, can you keep moving down this path without doubting yourself, your worth, your truth, etc.? Yeah. Because this path is definitely calling out of your comfort zone. The North Node is your destiny in this lifetime, but it's also unfamiliar territory. So it can feel quite heavy or scary because it's the unknown. It's something your soul has never done before. So it's like really unknown. It's not just something your human self has never done before. It's something your soul's never done before. So it's like it's a bit of a challenge, but it's so fruitful in how it helps you to develop as a soul and as an individual. Magnolia, you will find what you need in the wisdom of your heritage. Look at that. Beautiful wisdom again. So wisdom of your heritage can be important. So especially when we're talking about relationships, the first and most fundamental relationships that shape us and how we react to things and how secure we feel or how sure we are of our own truth is our caregivers. So you might want to look to how you were raised. What were you modeled? How did they communicate to you or accept what you had to communicate? Did your parents constantly doubt your truth or tell you that you were wrong or direct you to something else? That could be symptomatic again, or that could be like the root cause, I should say, of these symptoms of feeling triggered by other people kind of talking about something that's outside of the scope of what you thought was your truth or what you feel is your truth, and it is your truth. So there's something about being able to understand this again from the bigger picture. So it's not just about you as an individual, it's these themes, it's these patterns, it's seeing the connections between things, and then also literally exploring your literal connections between yourself and other people and how that has shaped or is continuing to shape your relationship with self. Okay, so that is what I see for you, group number 3. Pisces season, it is going to challenge you. I will not sugarcoat it. It is going to challenge you to face your emotional fears and doubts and possibly even traumas or imprinting going to face you with yourself mirrored back to you in sometimes uncomfortable ways through projections of others or of your own projections. But if you can own that, if you can see it and not balk in the face of that fear, you will come out of this so much stronger and, most importantly, so much wiser. And the discernment that comes from that will carry through to the rest of your life and beyond, because this is soul development we're talking about here. So you will experience that and you will carry that forward through the legacy of your soul. All right, guys, that is what I have for you. Group number 3. I saw 2222. Final closing synchronicity coming up there for you guys. So balance, harmony, relationships makes sense. All right. I love you guys. And thank you so much for being here. If you're interested in more information on specifically March 2024, the month ahead, I did do a pick a card reading for that on the members side of the channel. If you are interested in checking that out, you can become a member by hitting the join button down below. It will give you access to weekly pick a card readings and also the monthly live streams. And those are so healing that we get to connect and commune in that way. So it's a very sacred space if you guys feel called to it. Again, trust your inner wisdom. I love you. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you in the next reading. Bye.